What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. We are here today with a special guest to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Our new girls of Bravo. What's going on, Jamie?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm glad you are here. You know, we be kicking on Facebook talking about all these different shows. So I said, let me reach out to my homegirl and see if she want to be on this show. Let's talk about
And I'm
this
here.
show. You've been watching the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, obviously. What's your
Of
first thoughts?
course, of course. So the first episode had me a little bit shook, just how
I
candid
agree.
they were about
Mm-hmm.
how their community, the Mormon community, is so anti a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware that the Mormon community was that against like interracial
Mm-hmm.
relationships, particularly black people. So that
Mm-hmm.
kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. Once I inherently got over that, eventually, these women, I think, and I was telling a friend of mine, these women have had the luxury of being the first new franchise being launched in what, 5 years since Potomac.
Yeah.
So Potomac kind of came on when everybody was kind of at the height of self-awareness and
Mm-hmm.
putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
These ladies have the luxury of having 6 different franchises and watching these women do what needs to be done
Mm-hmm.
to create storylines. And like the first 3 episodes, I mean, they're fighting over emojis and hospital smells.
Hospitals.
So they're ramping up the drama.
They are like I will say like I as I said and I've said for the last two recaps like it's like episode 2 and 3 now, but it feels like episode 10 because they're like they came in and they don't seem new to this. They like you said they've had the luxury to see
Yeah,
all of it, and I feel like this should be the standard for many reality TV shows when they any TV show, not just Housewives, not just Bravo, but I feel like there are so many shows out there. There should be no reason why you come on even season 1 with bad hair and makeup. You should come on ready. You should come on
well,
to
there's
this.
some of that.
I know it is my auntie. We're gonna talk about her. Uh, but there should be no reason why. And so I think that despite some of the bad wigs, despite some of the whatever, they have still come in pretty strong. They've grabbed some attention. I will say I've
Yeah,
seen some negative too. Some people feel like they are just absurd. And I don't know if they're Mormon. I'm only reading some of the comments, but I see a lot of positive in terms of like drama because at the end of the day we want drama. So it's always crazy when
yeah.
people be like, "Oh, that's too much." So, like I said, episode 3, we have already had an issue about a hospital smell. We've had an issue about an emoji. We've had an issue about bartenders drinking up some Casamigos, child. It has been a lot. It has been a lot. And like of
So
those
much.
three things, what of those three things stands out the most to you as far as drama?
Like, okay, so you have actual drama, and then you have just absurd, like, why are you arguing about this right
And
now?
which one
Uh,
stands out to you
to me,
the
I
most?
think I think the hospital smell
Mm-hmm.
drama, strictly because that, from what we can already see, is going to be the catalyst for a lot of division and a lot of picking sides
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the show. Jen, while I can understand her being sensitive to what her family was going through, unless Mary walked up to you and said, "You smell like your grandma with no legs and it smells like hospital, I want you out of here." Like, ma'am, you're reaching. Like Mary said, it smells like a hospital in here. That is a very particular smell. Like we
Yeah.
all know what a hospital smells like. Jen is dragging it, but she has been amazing TV
Yeah.
for it for
Yeah.
three episodes. So it's a fool.
Do you think that she is going to be able to handle like when I say handle, I mean like back and forth with Mary because Mary, she is I
Doesn't
don't,
care.
she doesn't care, but she's so unproblematic in a way. Like she's not like I said what I said. She's like, I'm sorry. I
Hmm.
just said what I said. You know, it seems very.
Yeah.
She doesn't want any trouble. And even in the last episode, she really didn't want to argue. She was apologizing, and Jen was let it go. She still won't let it go. She's still arguing in this episode. Clearly, there is a division that is happening. Meredith, what's your thoughts on Meredith before we go forward?
So I like Meredith. Meredith seems like if I could compare her to somebody. Meredith seems very much like a Cynthia.
Okay.
Very much like, I'm going to be friends with a lot of people. She's got like the child that she has a really, really good relationship with.
Okay.
I think for me, that's really good to see that her kids genuinely enjoy her. And she talks to them like they're intelligent, emotionally like grown adults. So that's really, really good to see. And I think that the fact that she wasn't one of those women that immediately took sides with her friend Jen and saying, absolutely, how dare Mary say that? She was kind of like, I'm going to let you feel whatever it is you're feeling. But Mary has always been good to me, so I'm just going to continue to grow that friendship. So I actually really, really like Meredith, and I like that she stands up for her kids. Her kids like had some things to say about Jen that we're going to talk about later, and she said, I understand that. I get that. Thank you for that. And she took her kid's side rather than, that's my friend, you need to stay in your place. I'm the mom here. So I thought that was really, really cool of her.
So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that now. So we're gonna skip around, come around to other topics. In this particular episode, Jen is over there. She's raising her legs, showing hoo hoo ha ha. And you know, our favorite homegirl, Brooks, you know, the
Miss
true breakout
Brooks.
star. Meredith is very interesting. But Miss Brooks says, this is my snowflake. I want this snowflake mom, and he is working for her. So he has an issue with Jen because Jen is, I guess she's like wild and crazy, showing her hoo ha ha, her coochie, all that stuff like that. And so because of that, this sleepover that Jen wants to have, he doesn't want her mom, he doesn't want Meredith around Jen at all. And now
At all.
Meredith is canceling the event, which makes things look odd for Jen. What do you think? First of all, is Brooks going too far? Is he carrying it?
I think there's two kinds of people. I think both him and Jen are looking for a moment. As we said, they've had the luxury to see how these things play out and how people can create these personas. Brooks is going about it in a way where he's kind of being the really like shady, low-key person with liner and stuff. Jen is going about by being the loudest, most obnoxious person she can be. She's like, she sucks the air out of the room. And I think that Brooks sees that. You can tell that her kids, that Brooks and his sister are very protective of Meredith too. And I think that they maybe have enough foresight to be like, Mom, one, if you continue to film with this woman and she's doing all of this, it's going to embarrass me when I go back to school. It's going to embarrass you when you go out of this community. So let's not have this foolishness. At the time, I think Jen dragged it by being offended. Like Meredith's excuse was my daughter is in town from school. She wants to spend time with me. Jen, you have children. That should have been, I completely understand. Your daughter's been away at her first year of school. Instead, she got mad and told a group of 20 people, her daughter doesn't even like her. She's at school. She doesn't want to hang out with you. Like, girl, if that's your homegirl, like it almost feels like that was waiting in the barrel for her to shoot out. Like she was real quick to throw shade at her best friend for something. I don't feature Jen at all. I'm not enjoying Jen, aside from just her being loud and obnoxious. I can tell she's got a nasty spirit.
She's a lot.
I don't like her.
I like a lot, but you have to, when you're a lot, let us get to know you. Let us get to like you. She's not giving us a chance. She's just coming out the gate with being late, you know, taking over the moment, you know, having these extravagant interests, and I'm just not here for it. Like, give us a time to know you. And I think that's the issue with her. With Brooks, I think, honey, it's just two queens, and the queens are fighting. Brooks want to be a queen, and Jen want to be a queen.
It's very Kenya and Nene. Very Kenya and Nene. That they're just...
It's very Kenya and Nene, okay? Because Brooks is like, Like, I was like, oh, Brooks, now look, I don't want to see no cooch either. However, it ain't finna make me say, don't bring her around no more.
Yeah. But the fact that him and his mother have that relationship where he feels comfortable saying, she doesn't need to be doing that in our house. I was like, okay, that means you trust your mama. You have a really good relationship with her. Go on. I can't be mad at that.
I love it.
The thing that I love is her husband also is super nurturing. For being a religious family and having that religious background. I've not seen any of, because they could have very easily said, you need to tone it down before the camera. Like we have an image or whatever. And they're just completely. Their family unit seems really, really cool, and that's something that I think a lot of the Housewives shows have lacked in the later seasons because they're all about drama and all of that. It's good to see some legitimate, like, just families enjoying each other. So I like that.
Okay. I Meredith, I like her. Her family, her son, I think it's cool. I really hope Jen can, get it together. I think the real issue
She won't
came when she found out that Meredith went to Mary's church service, and I'm like, well, damn, she can't go to church. Like, she doesn't want to go to church
at all. Like,
I'm like, dang. So let's move over to Mary. Mary, this is her episode where we finally meet her grandpa, aka her husband, and the way she explained it, it wasn't disturbing, but it was still a little bit uncomfortable. She talked about how even her mom wanted to marry the grandpa, basically to inherit the church and inherit the money. I'm like, this is crazy. And she even talked about
and
the
in my
honeymoon.
mind, I see that church. I was like,
I
is
know.
that worth inheriting? Because that church.
Well,
But
maybe,
okay.
maybe the cameras make it look a little smaller than what it is. Because what I'm seeing, it look like my living room. But then again, I don't know. It's a church, so I'm gonna be quiet. I ain't trying to go to here today. But she talked about that, and she talks about, like I said, her mom wanted to marry the grandpa, and how the honeymoon. At first I had became okay with it, but then I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of disgusting because not only it really was an arranged marriage. She really just had to marry this man for whatever reason to inherit this money, and now she has a child with him. So obviously they had sex. Like, what do you think now? Like, how do you feel about Mary and this? And then Grandpa is definitely a grandpa. I'm just like, Lord, this is just really. What you think?
I I was confusion. It made me sympathetic to her.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about Mary, one, because before the show came out, that was her backstory.
Yeah.
And then you find out she's a Pentecostal pastor. And I'm like, oh, this woman is going to be over the top, extra, judgmental, thinks she's above it all. And she hasn't displayed really any of that. She's not here for the foolery. Like you said, during argument, she's very much, okay, well, I'm sorry if you felt that way. Can we move on? She's not giving Jen the moment that she wants to have. And this arranged marriage really made me sympathetic to her because she said she was, what, 22? She was in such...
Yeah, 21, 22, yeah.
She was young. She was early 20s. So she loved her grandma so much. She was deeply, deeply passionate about the church and her religion that it never crossed her mind for her to say, pause. Why do I need to marry this man in order to continue being in service? And then adding the mama saying, no, like they fighting over their granddaddy and your
Lord
stepdaddy. Like, I don't get it. And they said they're Pentecostal. I want to know what section of Pentecostal they are, because I'm Pentecostal. I grew up Assemblies of God. We don't do that. So I want to know what kind of Pentecostal they are. And the fact that the whole church knows it. Like you were just with Sister such and such last week. She died, and now you're with her granddaughter, married with a child. Like, I try not to judge if it works for you.
Likewise.
But Mary,
Mary
blink twice if you're being held captive.
I get it. The money, I get it. But it's just very strange to me. But I'm with her. I feel for her because I feel like she did what she had to do, I guess.
If anything, it makes me feel like maybe that she felt like that decision wasn't entirely hers.
And
so now I feel bad about the environment that she grew up in.
That's what I'm getting. Like she had almost no say so. Like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. In the church, in the scene. So Meredith, as you mentioned, Meredith goes, and Whitney and her dad, aka Eliza Minnelli, and what you call her on Facebook?
Diane. That's Diane Warren, and you can't tell me that it's not.
Listen, we call what you want to call him, but his wig looked a lot better than Mary's. Okay, because the whole service, Mary's wig was levitating, and Mary's wig also had a word to give at the church. It was quite comical.
A testimony.
To me, but I did enjoy seeing her father kind of have an emotional moment. I was like, I think
Yeah.
not that it's going to help because I think that's so like, oh, this church going to help you. Like I don't like that, but I think that he had a moment to kind of get better because he seems like a great guy, and I love their
Yeah.
relationship. Like, what do you think about Whitney and her father's
Absolutely.
relationship?
I love that. I love particularly hearing the backstory how he was super active in the church and they grew up in the church and essentially her the way that the church treated her father was a catalyst
Yeah.
into her saying I'm not really interested in doing that. And I love that because so many times we see religion being the catalyst of excommunicating a family member and the rest of
Mm-hmm.
the family stays in the church. And I love that she literally is saying like I'm standing by my dad. And it's so easy. Like I've seen some stuff online where people like, oh, they shouldn't be putting this on TV and addiction is real and they're playing it up
Yeah.
for ratings. But the way I see it, like they're being very open and honest because it's painkillers that he's addicted to, right? And
Yeah,
he
it's
got
painkillers. Yeah.
addicted to it. He got addicted to it after an accident
Yeah.
or something, I believe is what they said. Do you know how many people that this happens to on a
No,
daily
that's
basis,
a
where their
I.
doctors just say, here you go, and now you're a full-blown addict? And it's so easy to say, like, oh, he's a crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, your insurance paid for that. Your doctor who went to medical school
Yeah.
for X amount of years gave
It's
that
not
to
like
you.
you're just getting it off the street. You're prescribed
Yeah.
it.
I mean, he
You're
may
allowed.
be. I don't know.
I don't know, child.
On the slopes. He's on the slopes getting his fix.
Ooh,
I
not
don't
the
know.
slopes,
But
child.
I think I think it's great, and I think I agree with you. I don't know if the religion helped, but I think that given his backstory with how the Mormon Church and his church in particular
Mhm.
kind of turned their back on him, I think it was very emotional to step into a complete stranger's house of worship
Yeah.
and have the entire community embrace him and pray for him and tell him like, "We're gonna get through this. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're
It was
loved.
a
You're
positive
not trash."
message.
Like it was great.
The
Yeah,
theory the I can't even say it. The theatrics were like blah.
yeah,
But it seems like he received what at least would help him from it. And I
yeah.
was like
And at its core, it's like that's when religion is the best,
yeah.
when it gives people a little bit of hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm good to do something because Mary did everything except coming down from the ceiling
Child, I
on
thought she was
angel
it was shit.
wings.
I was just like,
Like,
what in the I was I feel like I was watching one of those infomercials that come on late at night when the man is like slapping people with towels and stuff. I was like, oh, marriage is Lord.
it was very much the beginning of Sister Act 2 when she came down in the nun outfit. She told her whole story, and there were background dancers, and Jennifer
Exactly.
Lewis was like, it was very, very Vegas show, and I loved it. But that's what I grew up in, so I was like,
Mm.
I see you.
So let's switch the gears and talk about Heather. So Heather, we know that she is not married. She's no longer married. She's very Mormon.
Hmm.
And in this episode, it's kind of sad because she reveals that she's never been in love.
Hmm.
Her, I guess, commitment to the Mormon life, or what would you call it, a Mormon life? Would you call it a Mormon religion? Is it religion? Make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah.
I think it probably would be both because you
Okay.
can be a certain
Yeah.
religion, but she definitely has adopted like all of the this is my duty as
This
a
is what
Mormon.
she
This is what I have
feels,
to do.
and in this scene, she reveals that she married for Mormon. She didn't marry for looks. She was never in love. She's never been in love. She's never even know what that felt like. And she even went to say, I like that Jen was talking because Jen, with her little face, child, look like dude. She was like, you don't want to tell your kids that because your kids think it's be okay. And she was just like, no, like, yeah, I would. And I'm like, Heather, like this, obviously, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a problem, but Heather has other issues, in my opinion, because
Mm-hmm.
she's already shown us that she is so different from Mormon. She likes rap music. She's here for the gays.
Yeah.
But you're 100% Mormon. To me, it doesn't go together,
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when she
At
was
least from
giving,
what they've said.
right? What were your thoughts when she was giving her spiel and just how she is so into Mormonism?
There is. I like Heather. She definitely is like the fun girl who you can tell is a little more outgoing. She has that. I think that she looks at Whitney and envies the freedom that Whitney has allowed herself to
Uh-huh.
have independently, which
That's
is
my
why
favorite,
she's
by the
so
way.
quick to jump up and defend.
Mm-hmm.
she's so quick to jump up and defend Whitney, saying like, the way you did X, Y, and Z, I didn't like it. So I really enjoyed that about her. Her story did make me sad, because I'm sure there are plenty of women in any kind of religious situation or whatever that can take a look back at their situation and say it was arranged, or I did this out of duty, or I feel like I had to do X, Y, and Z, and I don't know what real love is. I like the person, and I've grown to have a love for them, but it's not like this all-encompassing love. I got a little bit frustrated at her, and I rolled my eyes a bit whenever her friends were trying to say, no, you're a strong woman and you're great. You're still a good Mormon regardless of this. And she was like, no, I'm not.
She was
and to just start crying, I'm like, oh, girl.
Was giving, no, Mormonism.
Mormon, like, what do I look like? And they're like, you're fine. You're being a strong representative for your kids. Fuck the kids. I'm Mormon. Like,
she made herself, I feel like for the viewers that really liked her, she didn't make herself look any less, but she made herself come off as that one girl that is very insecure and is just, just looking for someone to love her. Like, versus, because I initially got that she was free and that she was, doing what she wanted to do. I knew she was Mormon, but she still was a free person. But she still feels like she's barred behind Mormonism. And that is like, not saying it's unattractive, but to be cousins with Whitney, and then even with Jen, like, she's like the only one I feel like that really is like trapped in that mentality.
Yeah.
Even Lisa, who's heavy on it, she still breaks away and does her own things. But that whole relationship thing and the fact that she's the only single one, I don't think that's very healthy in my opinion.
How long has she been single? Because I also want to know that, because her actions, like you nailed it right on the head. She is not comfortable. She doesn't come off as somebody that's 100% comfortable with herself.
Yeah.
And it's sad because she genuinely is a really gorgeous, not just gorgeous physically, but she has a really good spirit, the way she shows up for her friends. She threw a baby shower for 38 of her employees that were all pregnant at the same time. And the way that you see her catering to each of them, she was complimenting them and hugging them and being like, I kind of want to tell them, don't expect this because of my experience. Like, she very much is that mother figure. She caters to people.
And but you know what? Maybe she's living vicariously through others. I feel like she's, like you said, Whitney, and even these pregnant women. Maybe she's, pulling some of that energy. But honestly, she's around such great energy. She needs to use it, I feel like, on herself. And
she's not there
her
yet.
Own happiness, Because, I mean, she has 2 or 3 kids now. And at this point, it's like,
I think 3.
People like you. You need to really like yourself. And I think that's what's missing from her. I think she's missing, like, really loving herself because she's so far in being a Mormon that she does not love herself. And it's coming out before our very eyes.
That's the same with any kind of religion.
At Lisa for not knowing who she was in college.
Because, I didn't even catch that. That's a very good point. She was like, that's my identity. How do you not know who I am? And it really comes across as like, when she's talking about she was Mormon royalty and her uncle or grandfather, whoever, were these big people. Yeah. She hasn't had an opportunity to define who Heather
is. Right. Like Whitney has.
The church has always defined.
Been able to find who she is, and she's followed her path. But while Heather is still following the Mormon path. Still, while also she may be listening to black music. She may be twerking over here. She may be looking like Fiona, but she's still.
Wait, was she the one that said she's not a good Mormon because she, in her confessional, she said, "I love black men"?
Yeah.
Is that on that first episode? I was like, I had to pause that and
black
say,
men,
this is what
music, gay men,
the gays.
That. Yeah,
I said, if this is what it's given, I gotta get up and go.
Let's move.
I could see it. It's I love her. I'm ready for her story. I'm ready for this big sweeping story arc. I'm ready for her to like spread her wings and prepare to fly because she's gonna become a butterfly. Like, I'm ready for it.
Child, butterfly with wide shoulders and a wide back.
Leave her alone.
But I like her though.
She works in security.
So let's move into this party because this is the last scene. Whitney throws a 1920s party. Now, at first, it's supposed to be 30 people. But, honey, it looked like it was a whole stadium of people. I don't know where they got the pole from. I'm like, this is the same venue?
Well, it wasn't it wasn't an event. She didn't rent the event out. If you go in there, he was saying we could rope off these sections. Like, baby, she didn't
It
rent
was
that
a
place
lot of
out. She
people.
reserved some tables. So I can guarantee the other people there
Oh.
probably saw
They probably
what
was
was
like,
going
oh,
on and just
Whitney from
joined in
Salt
on
Lake
it.
City's having an event. Come out.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Like, she
It
didn't
looked
rent it
like it
out,
was
they
a
said.
WWE match. It was so many people.
Ain't nobody was wearing 20s garb. They were
I
all
gotta go back and
fucking
watch it again.
hipsters, and it was a mess. Yeah, because that man looked over there and said, we were thinking about giving y'all these tables. I was like, bitch, I thought she was renting out the whole bar.
Well, she did say 30.
No,
That's crazy.
it
So
was an
now
event.
she
She
came to the
rented.
event and got 2 sections, child. That's crazy.
She got a section. It was compound for her. It was compound.
So okay, Jen is there. Oh, I'm sorry. So at Whitney's baby shower, she expresses that she needs to pick a side. Meredith needs to pick a side. This whole pick a side thing, that's crazy to me. It irritates
Jen
her.
is doing too much.
It irritates her at the 1920s party, and because she sees Mary over there, and it seems like next episode Jen goes off the rail. Thoughts? What you think?
You know I do not feature Jen. I'm not here for Jen.
You don't like
Jen
Duck?
is a
You don't like
caricature.
Darkwing Duck? No.
Oh my God. I don't like Big Angie's Hawaiian cousin at all.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I'm not here for her. She is really looking for a moment, and she is doing too much with too little. Like, you're not that interesting. You haven't shown me really any reason why you should be this upset with these people. So as an audience, I was into that mess. Like, I can understand if Mary was like going back in on her and they were fighting. It would be easier for me to pick a side. But Mary was like, I'm sorry. I didn't even know about your aunt or whatever. Like, I just don't like the smell of hospitals. I have a weak stomach. Like, girl, dead it. And it's now 3 episodes in. You're still talking. But she switched like that. Because last episode at the ski slope, her and Mary hugged it out and she was fine. And now this episode, she's screaming at a baby shower.
What do you think?
I did not.
What do you think? Do you think Jen? She wants to be the queen bee. She wants to be the center. Since she is a center girl, but what do you think that she's going to fit in this group? Because she's having an issue with Meredith. She's having an issue with Mary. Mary is friends with Whitney. Lisa is close friends with Meredith. So really, all she has is Heather, who really has no. She has a big back, but she don't have a backbone. In that capacity. So I mean, like, realistically.
I'm gonna go ahead and log on. Oh my God, you were waiting to use that.
I just made it up in my head. It's the tequila.
Oh, you're a mess. I hate you. I hate you.
So, what do you think she's going to fit? Because she thinks she said she's the queen bee. So, where do you think she'll fit in this group moving forward?
I don't think she is. I think if she continues the way that she's continuing, she absolutely is going to alienate people. Because if she comes at Meredith sideways, all we know is Meredith's going to go back and tell her son. Her son's going to get in that ass and tell her to drop Jen. And Meredith's going to listen to Miss Brooks. Already, it seems like Whitney is pretty much an independent thinker. She wants to maintain peace. But I can tell that she has so much going on in her personal life that she's not going to suffer fools. She's not going to entertain foolishness. And if Jen is mad at her, or if she's seeing that Jen is fighting with her friend Heather, and Whitney's going to write that off. And then in turn, I think she's going to support Heather. And I don't know. It's Jen is going to alienate a lot of people. And I think a lot more people with Mary's quiet confidence, Mary is going to win over a lot more people than Jen is. Because Meredith already, like, she doesn't have an allegiance. Yeah. She's just out doing her own thing.
But Meredith is, to me, is the glue. Honestly, she really is. She is friends with everybody. They all will come out for her.
Yeah.
Meredith even vouches for Lisa, somebody who I don't even care for. She vouches for Lisa. Lisa's going to have her issue, too. We didn't really talk about her this episode because it wasn't really about her a lot. But
Lisa and Jen are the same person. The way Lisa blew up that comment from Whitney about, hey, it is unprofessional. You send people to work a party and they're drinking my liquor.
Yeah.
And breaking. Whitney approached her on some real
She said they
woman-to-woman
drunk her
shit, and Jen
Casamigos, honey.
let Lisa turn this.
Did you
And she go,
catch
"Well,
when
I
she
gave you X
said?
amount of bottles."
Did you
Okay.
catch when she said they drank up her top shelf liquor, and she said, "I have top shelf liquor." She said, "No, liquor from another country."
No.
I was like, "Oh Lord Jesus!"
Look, that's how you know you got a little bit of money. Because most people are flashy about clothes and cars and stuff you have seen. Rich people spend money on liquor and imported goods that we drink and it's done. Mm-hmm. That's how you know. I think that Lisa and Jen are cut from the same cloth, and they're going to butt heads a lot. And so we're going to see some division there. I think Mary will probably be on the outside. I mean, she doesn't feed at all. She's unconcerned. But I think because Mary will be the voice of reason and not necessarily have a stake.
She's going to activate soon.
Yeah.
I think she's not going to take,
saw
because Jen, if you saw the after show, they're still at it. Like, Mary and Jen are still beefing. And Jen should probably stop while she's ahead, because I don't think she's going to be able to keep up with Mary. Mary's mouth, and it's not even like a crazy mouth. She's just, if she going to say it. And I think that's Jen.
Well, Mary's a church woman. We both know how they hold grudges.
Listen. I mean, I don't know if you like Phaedra or not, but Phaedra's church, and Phaedra's very good with her mouth. I'm just saying. So, women are
church
very
shade.
witty.
It's that church shade.
Exactly. So, with that being said, I hope Jen, I don't dislike Jen, but I do want her to tone it down, because we have an Erica Jane. We have a Marlo. We have all these people that it's just like showing up, like it's okay.
And they do it better.
And they do it a lot better, and they don't look pumped up in the face. So with
who she reminds me of? Kelly Dodd from OC, where she's just Kelly Dodd.
Yeah.
She's. Oh, I know you don't watch them white ladies.
No, I do. I do.
Just so her mouth incites all kinds of shit. She just flies it open, and she's at odds with people all the time, and really doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And it's like she kind of lives in her own little world, and really thinks that she's this person that she really is not. Yeah. And Jen could be interesting. Jen has money. Jen defected from the church. Jen is Hawaiian in a interracial relationship with mixed children, personal religion. Like, she could have a storyline where she's this exotic beauty, but she's choosing violence.
That's what I was hoping for
instead.
Her. That's what I was hoping, because she is.
And it's not.
You don't see that much on any of the Housewives. She has a very unique, but she needs to worry about her husband being at home and stuff like that, because honestly, I know I'm not saying he's not doing it, but he's out, and has this whole crew, and it's, to me, whereas she's like, so like, oh, I'm giving you this, at home it's looking very shallow. It's not much there.
Very that.
And that's just
very that.
Do you have any final thoughts on this episode?
I'm enjoying it, because at first when they announced it, I did not think I was going to like this as much. I thought it was going to be these super judgy women, and these women came out the gate in snow, okay? These women came out the gates. I really do think that as the seasons go on, the fashions will improve on, that they do in every single franchise. But I think they have really good chemistry together, even if they're not like the best of friends. I think a couple of the women have very, very interesting storylines that I want to see progress. I'm some people that I didn't think that I was going to like. I actually am really enjoying Mary and Whitney. And some people I thought I was going to flock to, Jen. I'd really but I mean, it's good. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good season.
It's gonna be a short season too.
We'll see.
Because it's a first season, so they'll only probably get maybe 10 to 12 episodes.
13 episodes.
Yeah, very short. But it'll be just enough. And I'm excited. I'm gonna watch every Wednesday. And hopefully, if you're available, child, you can come back every Wednesday to do this show.
You let me know, because you know we have opinions.
It's been fun. It's been really fun, actually. I just love people.
Yes, the liquor has been fun. You've been fun.
Okay, well, then,
but it's been fun. I appreciate you, and good job.
Without further ado, let everyone know on here where they can find you on social media.
Yeah. Okay, so on Twitter, hold on, I just changed my Twitter name.
Uh-oh. Is this
Let
a
me bring that
safe
up. But
Twitter or is this like
hold
one of the
up.
bad Twitters?
Sir, I don't know what you were talking about, but
Uh,
my on Instagram you can find me as it's Jaime, not Jamie 83. Jaime is spelled Jaime, and Jamie is spelled Jamie. And then on Twitter you can
83. You got
find me at
83.
Chulito 83. Yes,
I got it. It's right here on the
it's
video.
Jaime, not Jamie at 83.
Hmm.
And then on Twitter you can find me at Chulito_Hotito. And we would love to follow you guys. I talk mad shit online. That's
Child,
literally all I
especially on
do at my
Facebook,
job.
child. That's how
So
we got here.
we're migrating.
Mm.
Thank you for having me. I've had fun.
Of course, I want to thank everybody for leaning in. Me and Jamie are about to lean out. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, all things to lean. Jamie's Instagram is here on the video. You can follow me here on at Stupid Wild Test, also at the Lean blog, or you can just go to my YouTube channel at the Lean, and you can find all of my videos. Okay. So until then, I'm about to lean out. Y'all have a good night, and get ready for episode 4. I hear it's really, 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 really good. Jen is really going off and showing her crazy side. So until then, we will talk to you all later.